All right, everybody. It is Booker and Stryker. We got guests.
It's the Black Keys. Welcome, gentlemen.
What's up? Thanks for having us.
Good to see you guys.
To let everybody know, 2 nights ago was the LA show. Last night, San Diego. Here you are today. The tour just kicked off. How are you boys feeling?
Feels good. Feel refreshed. It's nice to be on stage again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any screw-ups? Is it going?
Every night.
Yes, good.
That's the whole point.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Total disaster when I stepped on stage last night in San
No.
Diego. Everything was broken.
Is that right?
Yeah, my monitors were off. Everything was off. It was
Do you remember
crazy.
bad shows? Do they stick with you, or bad shows kind of
I
end
feel
up being
like-
good shows in memory?
I feel like we only remember the bad ones, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really think of a show I thought was just bad.
No?
I mean, like bad and
Like everything didn't work.
like,
Everything
like,
fell
like,
apart.
or like showing up, like playing like Salt Lake City in 2002 to like 8 people.
Oh, really?
Or something like that might be kind of a bad show. Or and then back then also they charge you to get into the show because they sold beer, so you had like join the club and we were broke. So we spent the money we got paid to join the club.
Wait, was that the pay-for-play thing, or like you paid them to play the show?
Yeah, real stupid, extra dumb.
No,
version.
they have like these
It's-
weird
in
rules.
Utah.
Right,
You
in
can't
Utah.
drink unless you're a member of a private
So
club.
you have
Oh, I
to join a
gotcha.
club to enter the bar. And meanwhile,
okay.
they're the entertainment,
But-
but they still had to pay to get in to do their own damn show.
No, but in high school, I did have a band, and we got a show at this place in Cleveland called Peabody's Down Under. We were so stoked, and then they like mailed us 50 tickets and like sell these.
Oh,
and give us all the money. We're like, this is confusing. Like, and we showed up, we're like, we my dad bought one, but here's 49 tickets, and they're like, I didn't get it. You know, they did not have us back.
The Greek Theater show from 2 nights ago, we both saw the footage. Of course, it was packed. What a historic, awesome venue we have in our own backyard. What was the vibe for you guys playing there a couple nights ago, Patrick?
Yeah, the show was really good. I mean, we've played LA a ton of times,
Right.
and I thought it was I thought the crowd was really good. You know, that can be the thing that can get hard sometimes about like New York and LA. You can get a little jaded audience sometimes, but the crowd was great. And you know, the funny thing is it rained before we played, and it's like been raining almost every day on the No Rain No Flowers tour. So I
Right.
think we've kind of cursed ourselves.
What makes for a good venue when you're playing? I mean, you've played in front of literally every size crowd, from that crappy place at Peabody's or whatever you said to massive stadiums. When you think of Los Angeles, what's the room you say, that sounds good, or what feels good? Like, what decides it for a band?
Well, LA's got a ton of good rooms. I mean, the Palladium is a great place to
yeah.
play. I think having like a little bit of an open floor is kind of our thing. You know, that's the rooms that we
Yeah, when the people in front of the stage can get loose and aren't confined to their rows, the energy just goes up a notch, you know,
I think-
always.
Yeah, like the best venues to us to play in are like basically Brixton Academy in London, which is like 5,000. It's like the Palladium.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a place in Paris called the Zenith, which is similar size, and it's just like that, like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 open floor. It's kind of great. But I think what makes a good venue for us now is having a bathroom backstage.
Is that for the drugs or to use the bathroom?
So we can, do drugs in the bathroom.
Okay.
No, we played.
Nowhere to do drugs.
Dude, we played this place the other day in Boise, and it was like an outdoor space. They're having like 50 or 60 concerts this year, and they do it every year. And like, here's the backstage room, and it was like literally one bathroom. There's like 70 people working, and I was like, I bet you guys make enough money tonight to build a couple bathrooms.
Right.
And I looked at the number, and sure enough, they definitely did.
Do you miss one another when you're not touring? I mean, do you tour on a bus together? Do you sleep together? Does one of you snore? I mean, is it that kind of friendship that's obviously went for many, many years?
I mean, since the last 7 years, except for some of COVID, we've been we work basically 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then Dan does records a lot of times too, so we'll take little breaks here and there. But I'll see Dan a couple times a week, even if we're not making a record.
Yeah.
I have a question, Dan, about No Rain, No Flowers. I mean, I hear the title and I create images in my mind and themes, etc. But what does it mean to you and the band? That album title, and of course, it's an awesome song as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's clear. It's about getting past your troubles and your trauma and moving forward, and that was kind of what that song was destined to become with that title, you know. And when we had Rick Knowles come out to Nashville and we presented him with it, it just unfolded so quickly. It just was sort of just meant to be, really.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick Knowles, he's a songwriter and keyboard player. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
How do you
he's,
know him, and what did he add to the
Well,
to
I
your
did
guys'?
when I worked with Lana on Ultraviolence, I kind of found out that she'd worked with this guy Rick for the majority of the record and the majority of her early albums. So when Pat and I were talking about who we wanted to work with, his name kept coming up because I just always loved how he was able to write melancholy pop songs. Those are kind of, you know, my favorite, Tears of a Clown type thing, you know. And so we reached out to him, and he said, you know what, I'm going to be in Nashville next week for the first time ever. He never had been to Nashville. As a songwriter his whole life, never gone to Nashville. So we took it as a sign and, like, booked the time with him.
This time around, reading some press with you guys, and I've seen it a couple of times where it says, you know, you're really doing your thing your own way again. Did you lose your way as a band? Like, get into that. Like,
No,
what
I mean,
was
I think
wrong?
that's just a reference to, you know, like it's, you know, doing what we do, like the way that we do it. It's like, you know, we write the songs, we record the songs, we come up with the, you know, the artwork or help concept the artwork, the T-shirt designs. You know, there's this, like, it's a never-ending thing. But then there's the whole business side of stuff where it's like, you know, strategizing, like, what we're doing, and then so, like, a lot of times, like, you know, we've realized, you know, that if you don't kind of keep your hands on everything, you're gonna get screwed. And so that's a reference to that. It's just like having to. It's just a reminder, you know, about how much responsibility there actually is to oversee your business. You know, Dan's dad passed away a couple months ago. One of the last things he said to me, he's like, Patrick, you know, this is you and Dan's livelihood is your business. He's like, you have to keep an eye on every single thing moving forward, because he knew what happened to us last year, and you know, he was absolutely right. So yeah, I think it's just that. It's like, you know, but I think even more so, I think that the people that we see that are the most successful, and success being like the ability to kind of do what you want to do creatively and then serve your fans in a healthy way. Like, they're people who are fully involved in, like, in their career and really steering the ship.
Are there aspects of that business side that you're forced to do that you hate?
All of it.
Okay. Next
Well,
question.
But we were also kind of like I was like indoctrinated. Well, you know, like watching interviews with my favorite musicians as a kid in the '90s. It was like basically like you were like, you know, a nerd if you even acknowledged that there's money involved, or, you know, or you were a sellout if you even acknowledged that there's like a business here.
Yeah.
But you know, then you find out that, like, wait, all these guys kind of saying that own record labels, and like and they're like, wait, like, Epitaph's owned by a punk rock guy, and like, wait, but we're being told not to worry about this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, the music business is...
Brett Gurewitz owns Epitaph.
Brett's cool, but yeah, the music business is just slimy.
Right.
It's the slimiest. Because there's no, you know, anybody can enter it. Anybody can say they're a manager.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a piece of paper, you can sign any band if you have some money. So, you know, it's great for idiots and suckers like us.
I think I have a question in here. There was a time I remember clearly, 90s, early 2000s, where bands were afraid to say yes to everything. Hey, you want to play this Super Bowl thing? You want to play this Coca-Cola? You want your song on this? Like, oh, our fans may think we're sellouts. But now, I feel in this day and age, it is stupid to say no to opportunities. Like, if someone is presenting you something, for the most part, you say yes. How do you guys tick on that?
Well, I mean, there are things that you don't want to say yes to, for sure. But I mean, when we first, it took us like 6 albums before we started getting like played on the radio and started getting, you know, offers to do stuff that we never received. So like play SNL and the Spike TV Video Game Awards.
Right. Yes.
The legendary, you know.
I won an award at one of those, by the
did?
way. That's in your interview, but
That's
yes.
just to show you how important it is. But we, you know, for a while we were saying yes to everything, and you know, but you know, we'll play ball to a certain degree,
Right.
You know, but yeah, I think the big thing for us early on was Like speaking back to that thing where it was like, it's not a cool look to like make money or whatever, but we would get some offers for some commercials, and we were definitely advised to not take the money.
Yeah.
And at the time, like I was living in a $400 a month apartment. He was living in a $400 a month apartment, and we were going on tour, and we would tour for a whole year, and we each make maybe $12,000 or something.
Yeah.
And we were being told like, don't take the $100,000 from the mayonnaise commercial, and like.
Is there one specifically you remember? Was it
Yeah,
actually a
literally
mayonnaise?
It was more than that. And
Okay,
it was like,
what song
was
would have
way
that
more than
been?
Thick Freakness. It's perfect. It was a British man. No, it was a British mayonnaise commercial. Someone was like, "You're just gonna ruin your career," and we were just like, "That's more money than like we could retire in Akron in 2003 with that kind
Yeah.
of money."
How much was it?
It was 100,000 pounds a side.
Now he's mad about it again.
No.
But now you see George Clooney, who's got all the money in the world, doing coffee commercials, and Danny DeVito selling beer on TV or whatever. I'm like, okay, I
Right.
guess it's okay if I do
No,
car
it's,
commercials.
It's totally acceptable now, but back then it wasn't
Yeah.
for some reason, and we said no to it, and then we got right back into the tour van and had no money and continued on.
Well, there's
It was
more.
crazy.
There's more to the story, because eventually we said yes, and we just kept saying yes, and then we got ridiculed for being the band that was like like there's like memes about how like Black Keys released a new song like titled Ford commercial or something.
Oh,
But it's like you know what,
That's jealousy.
you can there's bands like Modest Mouse and the Shins that definitely did commercials before us, and those are the bands I was like, they can do it, we can do it. I respect those bands, so we maybe helped make it okay to sync your music, to make a little bit of money
Yes, it's
off your
okay.
music. Because we were talking the other day to someone. They're like, "We got a great idea for the spring. Maybe we should do a theater tour." I was like, "That sounds fun." Like, yeah, you won't make any money, but it's gonna be awesome. And I was like, "Okay," but I was like, just a reminder, everyone else that works with us will make money.
Yeah.
It's just us two that won't. So that's mostly what the music business is.
How do you maintain the fun up there with the tour? You play the same instrument that you have for years, and you do the same thing. How do you challenge yourself every tour to say, let's try something weirdly different? Is there anything that you've tried or failed at?
I mean, I think that if you're really trying to put on a good performance, there's enough nerves and adrenaline happening that you got to channel it in, and it becomes like, it's like a game.
Mm-hmm.
It never gets boring.
But it's been fun working on the set list too for this tour, because it's like we've got so much material to pull from. So many songs that we've never played. I mean, we've added songs to the set list that we hadn't played in 15 years or more.
Does it come back to you as the muscle memory
Yeah.
there? Oh, yeah?
It does, oddly. But definitely have to be reminded of how it went.
Well, we were like, we should do a couple of songs as a two-piece, so we thought of like a little medley we can do. And the first time, we hadn't played these songs in probably 15 years,
Wow.
12 years. But yeah, we went right through it without.
We just hit a medley. We had never practiced, and we just did it.
That's awesome.
And we never really did it
They're
again.
stars on 45. They just, all of them.
How many songs, how many tracks are there on No Rain, No Flowers?
11.
11. And you guys just make 11 and these are the 11, or do you have 22 done and then you choose 11? How does it work for the two of you?
We made 18 songs, and then the last record, last album we made, Ohio Players, we made like 20 songs, and our initial concept was to like put them all out on one LP, and then we were kind of advised like, well, you should actually break it up, and you can use this other thing as an addition, so that will help market your tour. And looking back on it, it just was like, I wish we would have just put all the songs out at once. But in this case, like, I think that we did find a collection of 11 songs that go together, and then the other stuff we'll figure out what to do with it later.
Nice.
As a band, you can live in a vacuum, get caught in your own thoughts and what you guys think. Is there someone or people on the outside that you trust when it comes to, no, it's going to be 11 songs, let's see what they think, let's let them live with it for a while? Do you have those people still?
I mean, ultimately, I think we just have to trust our gut. But I think, yeah,
we listen to suggestions.
we got a lot of friends.
Definitely. I think that, the concept of making records these days for us is way more open-minded than it used to be. And I think just collaboration is really from the start. We start collaborating with people. It's more fun that way. And I think we've opened ourselves up too. We ask certain people that we trust, or certain, people in the management or the label, to get their honest opinions because you know it's helpful.
You can always DM us, and we'll give you our take. Not that we know anything with anything, because we don't. Probably give you the worst opinion
We'd
ever.
be awful.
Wait, are you?
Well, we can help him with the DJ thing.
Yes, the
Ask
DJ.
him about
Here
that.
we go.
There we go.
We've discussed this before. Are you guys DJing a club in LA? And I haven't seen it in person, but do you have a set list for that, or do you feel the crowd? Are you playing vinyl, and are you mixing, or does a song fade, then you hit play? A lot of questions. Please answer.
Yeah, I mean, we play 45s.
Nice.
And we don't really call it DJing, but there's not really.
Yeah, we're not cutting any records. We blend them a little bit, but not well.
Yeah.
Well, what does
That's
it
part
look
of-
like?
that's
Are
part
you
of the-
both just standing up there like a DJ?
Justice, like
Yeah.
the DJ
Generally,
doing Justice.
we call them record hangs because I think it's a nice way to
Yeah.
present what we do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We don't take it too seriously, although we do take it seriously.
We take
you know?
the what we're playing seriously.
Yeah, but we usually invite one friend, and then everybody gets to spin for 30 minutes, and then we do a round robin where we just go back and forth.
How fun.
And we've got Peanut Butter Wolf spinning records with us tonight, and we've had people like Edon and our buddy Leon Michaels, and just it's really fun and kind of competitive.
Yeah.
And then it just got us both back into just obsessing about records and trying to find that record that would like be the one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, there's
it's
no-
a healthy competition, I think. And
Yeah, I
it
feel like
really-
there could be really cool arguments between the two, like, no, that sucks, or no, that's good. You're going to lose the room.
No, it's
More
the-
so
yeah.
when
You
it's
can't-
not your music.
You can't argue with the crowd, though. That's the thing. You put the record on, the crowd tells you what's happening.
So you're kind
Exactly
of proving
right.
the other one right
Exactly
or
And
wrong.
if it's a dud, we know.
We know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we don't hesitate to
No.
just turning off.
Oh, you don't really?
Hell no.
Okay, how
Take it
many
off.
seconds in do you know if a crowd likes it, and then do your feelings get hurt, and how long does it take to get the next record on?
Well,
Yeah, I mean-
I think we're not really throwing duds out there too much ourselves lately. But it's usually like if we have a guest who doesn't really know. Though we had these one guys come help out, and they brought like a Madonna record, and
Pat
not-
picked it up.
I like literally like ejected it from the
Play
room.
Frisbee
It
during
was like
this?
time out. But how does it? You asked how it looked. It looks great. I've got my marshmallow head on.
No, he doesn't.
They're really Daft Punk. We're revealing it now. These are the guys. Wait, I have a question, and if you don't have an answer, just say pass. Is there a song that you've heard on the radio or whatever, YouTube, in the last 20 years that you wish that you guys wrote it? We were like, Jesus Christ, that's good.
I mean, I think the Arctic Monkeys' whole album AM.
Ah,
You know,
Do I Want to Know on there?
we took
Yeah.
them out on tour on the El Camino tour a year before they put that out. But they did release the single "Are You Mine" while they're on tour with us. But we got pretty close with those guys, and I remember going to see the AM tour in Nashville in September of 2013, and they were playing this Marathon Music Works, which is like a 1,000-seat room, and I was just floored by like the singles, and they came over to my house afterwards with the head of their label, and I was like, you need to hire a radio plugger. Like, this is like a huge radio song. What's going on? I was like so like annoying about it, and I'm not taking credit for it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, I'm taking
No,
credit.
not at all. No, he's not.
No, but that record, my 6-year-old's obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah. I am as well.
Also
Do you
a
have
good
one?
sign.
That's how you know if you got a good album. If a 6-year-old.
Nothing worse than when you put on your new shit and the kids just like.
Oh, your microphone.
Microphone.
Oh, there's nothing worse than when you put on your new stuff and your kids are just like, "What else you got?"
Yeah.
Really?
Next.
Yeah, like it makes me think maybe Michael Jackson wasn't that creepy. He just had a lot of 6-year-old fans because his music was so good.
There's the line of the century.
Well, I think that's a good one to go out
That
on.
is. We love the Black Keys.
Patrick and Dan,
Jiminy
always
Christmas.
a great time to talk to you guys.
Love you
and,
guys. No rain, no flowers,
yeah,
baby.
man. Thanks for coming up. Good luck with the tour. We know
Anytime.
it just started. And,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping by.
Always
to see
have
us.
your back. Thanks for being so nice to
know.
us over so many years.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah,
you
we
guys.
love you guys.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much.